How to Create a Glitch Monologues Season 28 Chapter 1. This is Season 28 of How to Create a Glitch in the Matrix Monologues Episode 1. In this episode, we will be talking about convolution and directness in regards to outs. In general, an out is a social escape. But more precisely, an out is any action which evades or avoids social tension. It may be as simple as a postural release, which dissipates tension associated with directness or confrontation. Or it may be using the excuse of a bodily rhythm to absent oneself from a social exchange. Outs are important because our bodily rhythms generate outs for expression of an impulse, that is, a non-consensuality, or to escape the collapse of our consensuality. In a social exchange, the exact details of avoidance, distraction, escape, produce the sequence which alleviates our awareness of the shadow parts of our being, our non-consensuality. The moments that we look away, that we are distracted. The moments that we leave the room to tend to something, to use the washroom, to smoke. These moments all represent in a social sense the collapse of our consensuality, or the incursion of our non-consensuality. Likewise, directness involves the interplay of our impulses with others, which often results in the bringing out of our shadow self. Convolution, on the other hand, arises out of avoidance, inhibition, and diverts those impulses, that social tension, into the outs that we take. Convolution, or orthogonal thought, occurs in response to inhibition. It arises out of exegesis. It diverts tension unnaturally into outs in our behavior, reflecting the dissolution of our consensuality as avoidance. This convolution also creates cyclical continuity, in that each orthogonal pattern generates expression as an out, periodically, or according to our bodily rhythms which are cyclical. Thus, the non-linearity of orthogonal thought is the product of spacing created by cyclical patterns of bodily rhythm, since these rhythms are impacted by the tension which they dissipate. Since we also know that path convolution reflects a lack of parsimony, while also associating it with retrocausality, we can hypothesize that this quality of orthogonal thought arises out of some dimension of consciousness beyond physical representation. Non-linearity making the retrocausal possible. Likewise, perhaps it is the quality of directness that chooses the path of parsimony as between two parallel dissonant consensualities. Either your dissonant consensuality is more direct, parsimonious, or the one produced by your inhibition is. Ultimately, the path taken is reflected by the directness of the path. Now, since outs represent points of expression of inhibited impulses, they are the non-consensual bubbles which segregate parallel dissonant consensualities. For wherever there is inhibition, there is expression in a dissonant space. This means that between outs, parallel mirrored dissonant realities exist, which resolve with each out. The tension which is relieved during each out manifests as a change in the cycle period of some rhythm. That tension reflects both the time spent in a dissonant space and the emotional strain of it. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.